Welcome back, Sideline Brief Podcast. For episode 203. We got our one episode for this week. We got a recap NFL Week 12. Some good games going down this past Sunday and Monday. And then we're also going to preview this upcoming week's games. We got a big Thanksgiving Day slate. We got the Black Friday game. I think the second or third year they're doing that. And then, of course, the games on Sunday. So, with all that being said, guys, stay tuned. Into this NFL Week 12 action. Some good games, some not good games. We'll cover all of that. Now, to be honest, I think I don't know the Texans. Actually, I started with the Texans. Actually, the past Thursday night game, Texans beat the Bills with their backup quarterback David Mills has won 3 straight games as the backup. I know Lawrence every single time we talk about him, you say, there's a lot of continuity with him. He's been in the organization for a couple of years now, so it's nothing new to him, but very impressive. No CJ Stroud, the offensive line bang to hell, but still finding ways to win. The defense is looking phenomenal. I think they sacked Josh Allen 8 times in this game. Any thoughts about this past Thursday night game?
Well, I think they made a joke. I know at some point I was watching. I think it was probably maybe the TikToks, where they were making the joke about whether or not Will Anderson was Josh Allen's daddy at some point.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're referring to. Like in the new Michael B. Jordan to him, because Michael B. Jordan definitely got called daddy by his current girlfriend by some stretch of the imagination with performing
Wife.
sinners. Oh, sorry, wife.
Mhm.
Anywho, it was probably one of the biggest, if you're not going to win, we're going to win for you kind of games in terms of the defense that the Texans have played, which, as bad as my fantasy team has been all year, at least the Texans' defense has been on my fantasy team. Has really tried to put out numbers week after week. Honestly, probably the only great pickup I made at the beginning of the season. But I think that is very true to what it is. Their secondary complements their defense, or defensive line, sorry. It gives them, 4 seconds of play instead of, 2 or 3. Guys, it takes a little bit longer to get open. That's okay. There's like a punishment for stretching out plays as well. And most of the time, the plays that the Bills run are being stretched out by Josh Allen to being able to move. Also, crazy from Josh Allen's offensive line. It just seems like it's getting worse and worse and worse as the season moves on. The Bills, the big question mark will be, or the big question mark is, on paper, they're supposed to be better of a team than the Patriots, and they probably have more talent than the Patriots. Yet, on the field, the Patriots keep getting results, and the Bills, and the Patriots are doing it in convincing fashions at this point with their wins, and the Bills, they're racking up losses, and again kind of exposing themselves for what they can and can't do. And that's just not something we thought we were going to go into the season. But I think it's a monumental win for the Texans because I think it causes the AFC wildcard race to stay honest because the Texans are hanging around. And honestly, I think it does aid the Chiefs. Underhandedly aids the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think it does too. It'll be interesting to see how close this is to teams, making the playoffs or just barely missing. So this is definitely something we got to watch week by week at this point. Um, Going into Sunday, I'm not gonna lie, I was on the road for pretty much all of the 1 o'clock window games. So I'm gonna hand it off to you. Uh, just talk about some of the games you watch. I did listen, not watch, but listen to my Bengals on the road. So I have a little bit of thoughts. But anything else from these other 1 o'clock window games?
Um, so I watched. We're gonna say maybe 2/3, maybe 2/3 of these. So I'll stick to which ones I did watch. The Bears. I honestly thought they were gonna blow it again. It really gave like a worrisome feeling in your tummy. Um, I was excited to see DJ Moore score a touchdown. He only had one all season. He got that pretty early on. I thought that Caleb Williams did a good job effectively moving around, and buying enough time to get his guys a chance. I think he did make some knucklehead moves. The safety in the end zone again. TJ Lock looked like he was trying to career end someone else's career. Um, but all in all, I mean, the Bears did what they needed to do to win. They scored just enough. And honestly, I think they just kept the game just out of reach enough. And honestly, I think this is a problem with the Steelers that we keep noticing is they try to make things too hard on themselves. They put themselves in too deep of holes to try to come out of. And it was cute, and it worked last week when they were playing the Bengals. Bengals are beat up. And you get late into the game, and then what? You get 2 defensive touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, the offense couldn't put up points, and I honestly, at this point, that might be how they have to do it. The defense might have to score once a game in order to be able to win these games. Because when they don't, they lose by 3 to the Bears. Moving on, Lions, Giants. Okay, so I didn't watch the first half of this game. I think I was no, that's not true. I think I was in and out of this game first half because this game, for some reason, was almost always not on commercial. So
Mhm.
there was constant flow. Every time I went back to the 4-game screen, this one was waiting for me. And honestly, the Lions defense is going to cause them to either miss or be the final seed in the wild card.
Mhm.
And honestly, I think it's going to cost them the playoffs because even if they do somehow make it around, a first, I would say a first round scare. I think it's going to be the next round that it's going to hit a wall. Like that defense, I don't know. If it can't stop at home, what are you going to do on the road? And then when you get 2 road games back to back in the playoffs, I'm not a fan. The defense for me is the Achilles heel of the Lions.
Yeah, I
But
think for me
Jameis
it's the
Winston
same
made
thing.
some cool stuff though. Jameis Winston did some cool stuff.
Yeah, I saw he threw for a touchdown and caught a touchdown, right?
Yes,
That's a bad man right there.
and he worked hard for his receiving touchdown.
Yeah, I saw the replay of that. Yeah, he broke that tackle. Got in the end zone, did a little layup. Shout out to Jameis. Yeah, I agree with you. Everything you said. Lions are make or break is their defense. Sometimes they play well, but other times they go into a game like this with the Giants and it's like what is going on. So any of the other 1 o'clock windows?
I watched the Titans come back against the Seahawks. That one was truly just Seahawks stopped playing and the Titans ran the score up. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the Titans got their first touchdown from a 90-yard punt return or kick return, punt return. I think it was punt return. And honestly, that's kind of all we be seeing from the Titans, or all we see from the Titans scoring wise. Um, are moves like that. That seems to be the only way they know how to get it done. And then finally, the game I spent the most time watching, ironically, was also the game with the most commercials. I also felt, and that was the Colts Chiefs game.
Yeah.
I also I would watch the action. I swear, man, this game had more commercials than actual screen time. Anywho, I can't tell you what happened to the Colts second half. They did not do anything that they did the first half. And I literally mean they did not do anything the same. They couldn't keep a drive together. It just kind of felt like it was pass, pass, pass. It was working. Then they weren't getting the same amount of time. You could tell the Chiefs were kind of in like a, oh shit, the defense wise, oh shit, we got to do something because we can't let it go down like this. And honestly, they applied pressure. They made Jones' life hard. Jones already had an injury going into it. He didn't need to have to be running around and scrambling. And honestly, they played on that earlier in the game where he did kind of like a bootleg and he went out to the side and
Mm-hmm.
nobody was even prepared for it at all. And this man was walking like a little fast trot to the sideline. And I was just like, man, he got everybody because not one person was believing that this man was going to do anything with his legs because we knew they were compromised coming into it. And honestly, the fact that they didn't run Jonathan Taylor, we got to be milking clock here. He is your weapon that's been getting you to this point. Didn't use him. I mean, there was just so many. I mean, you might be wanting to look into an investigation on betting on the Colts side because maybe they took Chiefs spread right at halftime because they were down. And I know they were the underdog going into halftime because I re-upped on it. And I was like, you know what? The Chiefs are not about to throw this season away to the Colts. Just not. And if they are, you know that the refs are going to try their damnedest to at least give them a shot. And I think they did.
Makes sense. Hey, I had all the hope in the world that the Chiefs going to find a way to win at home, whether the Zebras would be willing to help them enough or not. So I'm not surprised with the outcome of this one. I think we're into the 4 o'clock window, which I honestly I didn't pay too much attention to. I will say Jags Cardinals going to overtime was kind of a wait what type of moment. The Cardinals, I will say, have been playing well with Jacoby Brissett at the quarterback. Jags, I feel like a very suspect. Like if they get in, like I feel like it will be a very early first round or wild card exit for them because this Jags team is just too up and down. I don't. It's like one game you're like, wow, the Jags, and then the next game you're like, wow, the Jags. What are you doing? I don't know if you watched this game, Lawrence, but
I didn't. I mean, outside of it being on the um, quadruple screen,
yep,
I was really. I think I took a nap. I did take a nice little nap during the
there you
four
go.
o'clock window, right
Mm-hmm.
before halftime, and that little boost where you just get to sleep through halftime and you just get to come out on the other side. I tried to watch the Saints Falcons game because unfortunately I had the over in that game, and I was really confident in them. I thought these two could like put up some numbers.
Yep.
I did have the Browns to win, and I took Shador to get a rushing touchdown. He didn't need that. He got two. He got one passing. I think he got two passing. I'm not sure. I think he might have got one passing. I think one of them might have been like a lateral, or not a lateral, but like a toss pass
I like a toss.
to Judkins. But you could have called it either way, to be honest. But anywho, I thought he played decent. I wouldn't say he played great. Honestly, he got the benefit of playing the Raiders.
Yep. Yep.
They tried to make a bigger deal of him winning. I mean, this man beat the Raiders. I'll get excited and hype him up more when it's someone that's not the Raiders. And then next, the game I really paid attention to most time was the Eagles Cowboys because there was just always something in the air that the Cowboys were going to make something of this. They were talking about during the game that like Dak hadn't lost. He was 22-3. I think it was 22-3 all time at home against divisional rivals. And you know what? There was just something in the air So
Yep.
the very beginning, when the Eagles went up early, I just put everything. I put all my chips in the basket. I was like, you know what? The Cowboys, I think it was 14 well, I don't think. I know it was 14 and a half. I was like, no way the Cowboys lose by 14 and a half. They were glazing, and I mean full on glazing. Dak Prescott way too at the very beginning of this game for
Yep.
this to go this way. So there's going to be some bullshit in the air. And then mind you, the bullshit just starts stinking, and you can just see
Yep.
it coming. And he just makes that it is just one after the other, all the dominoes falling for the comeback. And honestly, well deserved. I think the Cowboys played better. Honestly, the Cowboys defense deserves a little respect for what they were able to do. And I think I think it's becoming a problem of they're getting too cute. And when I say they're getting too cute, I'm talking about
Who's that?
the Eagles. The
Yeah.
Eagles. They tried to pass the ball just like way too often. AJ Brown might need a recourse on foot and leg placement. I'm pretty sure one touchdown was called back just because he couldn't toe drag or toe tap. I mean, he didn't even attempt it.
Mm.
Um, they did call it a touchdown originally, and then they actually reviewed it, and I'm like, that's kind of blatantly not. But I mean, I digress. I
Mhm.
thought it was a good game. Um, Honestly, the Cowboys deserve their due, and I thought it was. I think it's going to be a great game. What was it? Thursday when they take on the Chiefs, because I think at this point everyone's hot on the glaze for them. Everyone's thinking the world of the Cowboys, and the Chiefs are coming into the Cowboy land on Thanksgiving, a three and
Mhm.
a half favorite, and I think that's going to have a lot of people putting some money on the Cowboys. Which maybe the Chiefs could finally be a decent draw.
Yeah, I don't know. So far this week, I haven't really seen all the hype and excitement that we saw last week with the Cowboys potentially beating the Eagles. So I don't know. I don't know what to think of this upcoming matchup against the Chiefs, but something we'll talk about here
Upcoming matchup
shortly.
against the Chiefs, I can guarantee, not guarantee, but I can almost rest assured of a George Pickens touchdown.
He is balling. That is for sure. He is wide receiver one in Dallas at the moment. And then the ass whooping that happened Sunday night, Bucks Rams. Baker goes out. I think what before halftime.
Right before
And,
half.
and then Bridgewater comes in as the backup, but it was too little, too late. Rams were just pitting belt to ass. This was, honestly, I thought the Bucks could cover, but glad I didn't put any money on this one because the Rams came out the gate just belt to ass. They weren't playing around. They weren't effing around at all. And Kyron Williams didn't even have a good game. It was mostly just Stafford and Puka and Devontae show.
I mean, I didn't watch this game after the first half. Because I just kind of knew it wasn't going to be anything. I did.
Yep.
It was after the fact that I learned that Baker went down. A little disappointing because you could tell it's going to be a while. He's going to miss a couple games, and they can't really afford for him to miss a couple games. But there's nothing they can do about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he's pushing to play this upcoming Sunday, but I doubt it. I think he, like you said, he probably misses a few games because they still have a chance to win their division and make the playoffs. So I don't know. Maybe Teddy can keep this thing together. But the last game on the list last night, your Panthers Lawrence went to San Fran to play 49ers. Three picks on defense, very well on defense, but couldn't capitalize on it. I think any of the interceptions you guys didn't get points on. So, any thoughts on that one?
Probably one of the most pathetic of performances I've ever seen. It was 3 interceptions and 3 points. Um,
Mm,
you literally can't win a game when you do that.
hmm
Um, I don't know, man. To be honest, it doesn't seem like anyone on the Panthers had any urgency at all. Outside of like, I don't know, Tedero McMillan dropped like 4 balls, and I get it. I think he's like number one in like voting for offensive rookie of the year.
Yep.
But it was just very. I wouldn't say it was. I would say deflating to watch how many mistakes they would make over and over and over again. The three and outs, the never running with Rico Dowell or Chuba. I mean, I get
hmm
it. We don't want to do the two back thing, and it's cool. But like, you didn't give any of the running backs a chance to do anything.
Yeah, so I was very surprised by that. I thought they would give the back some more carries. The defense of the 49ers would beat the hell up. So you think maybe give it a more sustained drive, but I definitely think it's probably the sum of just when you have like a lot of young players like you guys do that like a prime time game might rattle them. That's what it looked like to me.
I don't know. I really wanted to see a lot more from them because it was going to be their only primetime game. And honestly, it probably looks bad on them for like late in the season when maybe they could become a good primetime game to throw out there at the end of the season. Now
Mhm.
there's even less sway to do that because they look so pathetic in it.
We're still in the playoff hunt. Still can win your division and get in that way. So nothing. Not all hope is lost. Uh, Going into week 13 though, we'll start on this Thanksgiving Thursday. We got a couple games. 1 o'clock game. Packers Lions were playing in Detroit. Um, Lions come off a loss, or no, they won, but an overtime win, and the Packers, coming off a win versus the Vikings. Who do you have in this one?
I'm gonna go Lions out of revenge for week 1. And I'll sum it like that. I'm gonna go purely out of revenge. I think the Packers got one easy last week playing the Vikings. And I'm not saying it was because they were playing the Vikings, but honestly, it was based on how the Vikings came out and played. They didn't. They did. I thought the Packers could have put more belt to ass, and I think the Packers have a wide receiver room issue, and I think it's like something that they thought with Golden they would get solved, but I just don't think there's any like top guy. I don't think there's any guarantee anymore. Not guarantee, but I don't know.
No, I think you're right. I think they thought Golden would fix the problem. Spending their first round pick on a guy they thought would make immediate impact, and if he's not missing time, he's not making an impact on the field, and you get the other guys who are just I don't know, feel like it's hit or miss with them. So I think the offense is as overall for the Packers is just hit or miss. I feel like if it's pretty much Josh Jacobs or bust. I feel like that's not you know what you should be as a team if you're the Packers who have championship aspirations after making a big trade for Parsons.
I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna agree with you. I think there needs to be more push. Because let's face it, they are sitting almost 2 games back of the Bears. Almost like a game and a half. Is it a game and a half because of their tie of the Bears? It's
Yeah, it should be. Let's check
not
the
the same old
standings.
Bears anymore.
I think yeah, technically yeah, a game and a half behind the Bears. They're in front of the Lions right now. This game has a lot of implications for the playoffs for sure. Next up, we have the game we talked about earlier: Chiefs Cowboys. playing back in Jerry's world. Both teams coming off big wins, short weeks. Um, I'm actually, I think this is actually a coin flip. Honestly, I think the Chiefs, um, they've been struggling all year. Um, their only chance in this one is if their receivers are on, and I feel like from what I've been seeing of the Chiefs, they're a little short. Crossing route stuff. Like I don't think that's going to work against the Cowboys, even with their secondary kind of being banged up, and they kind of just have practice squad guys out there. Like you got to beat their secondary by going deep and some of the medium to deep routes. And I think that the Chiefs just don't have that right now. They don't have that going for them right now. So this little short intermediate screen game, I don't think is really going to beat the Cowboys. So they gotta figure out ways to get some big explosive plays. And I think with Quentin Williams in the middle now and Kenny Clark, I don't think that Pacheco or Hunt will be able to really get the run game established. So I think the Chiefs really have their work cut out ahead of them. I think the Cowboys honestly will be able to pretty much outscore the Chiefs. So the Chiefs going to have to match them point for point if they want to win. I don't know if you have any thoughts.
I think the problem with the Chiefs right now is piggybacking off what you're saying, and something that was apparent during the Colts game. Mahomes doesn't trust his guys like he once did with I guess what would say the roster buildup he once had.
Yep.
But like he doesn't trust a guy to throw it deep and hope and throw it outside deep. They're just not doing those small things that kind of were a big thing in their height of their dynasty. And honestly, they brought up a good factoid during the game. They said
Yep.
Kareem Hunt with 1 yard to go has a higher conversion rate than the tush push, which I thought was pretty cool. Pretty good stat, neat stat to see. But digressing, I think one of the things moving forward for the Chiefs is maybe getting Mahomes more time with his guys. I mean, I don't know. Rashid Rice hasn't played all season because he's pretty much should be in jail.
Yep.
I would say the biggest knock is he doesn't want to use Hollywood Brown, which what was the point of going to get the man if you don't even want to use the man? You got to use what you got and what you're given.
Yeah, I agree. We can even go back to the beginning of the season. He didn't really trust him with the medium to long range, pass concept. So the Chiefs definitely got their work cut out for them. I think the Cowboys really have a good chance to win this one at home.
That's some
Uh,
dogs too.
they got two dogs on the outside for sure. One's trying to get paid. In the night game, we got the Bengals, Ravens. Joe Shiesty, Tojo, however you want to call him, Joe Burr. He is confirmed to come back this game. Um, he watched his press conference today. He said he could have started last game versus the Patriots, but Zach decided to hold him out. In my opinion, it was a pretty dumb decision. I feel like Zach was trying to play 4D chess against Mike Vrabel. It was pretty apparent last game that the Patriots were playing for Joe, and then when they get the old man Joe in there, they you can see threw out their defense a little bit. But I digress. Joe's coming back. He said he feels healthy enough to play. Wouldn't really give indicator or indication on like the strength of his toe. But he did say he feels good about moving and escaping the pocket and extending plays. So I gotta trust him that he's probably at least 90% of himself. So I think that's still enough to win even in Baltimore. So I'm gonna go Bengals in this one. I think the team is rejuvenated. Defense played well against the Patriots. If you take out the pick six from the Patriots, they only scored 20 points. So that's an improvement. And I feel like the previous week against the Steelers, I think the Steelers, if you take away their two defensive touchdowns, they didn't score a whole lot either. So I think him coming back has rejuvenated the defense. They're back to not ass, but they definitely need to score points. And I think some of Zach's scheming the past couple of weeks has um, let a lot of guys get open. Now we don't have T. T's out with a concussion, but Jamar's coming back from suspension. Chase Brown's been probably one of the best backs in football the past 5 or 6 weeks. Fourth straight game, 100+ yards from scrimmage. I think he had over 100 yards rushing uh, in like 3 quarters versus the Patriots, and they're number one rush, and they are the number one rush defense in the league. So, offensive line is blocking; they're blocking pretty well. I think if Joe just gets the ball out, um, 1, 2, 3, get the ball out. Don't try to do too much, and just play better than Joe Flacco. I think the Bengals have a pretty decent chance of winning this one, Lawrence. I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts.
Um, I only give them a chance to win it because it's against the Ravens and it's a divisional game. Um, I don't really know how much of a chance I give them because aren't the Ravens at home? I know I'm not tripping. The Ravens are at home.
Yeah, they're in
Um,
Baltimore.
I think that's going to play a huge factor in it. I mean, coming back off an injury is never fun. Coming back knowing that he's probably not 100% because let's face it, we kind of gauge that this man should have been back somewhere around like December, and he's getting here right before. I mean, that should automatically be an indication that he's already on a quicker time span. So how quickly is he going to be good? And then second off, like I don't know how much more can the the defense allow? I mean, I'm going to chalk it up like this: the Patriots, we're going to say, in some games this season have just been outright crazy good, and I'm just not seeing one of these. They just didn't have one of these games when they played the Bengals. They didn't have a crazy game. They just were able to get it done. Um, and the Ravens, they don't really have that ability to just get it done. They gotta go out there and stomp old boys, and I think they can do that. I think the Patriots are more than capable of going out there and kind of dominating the Bengals. Now, mind you, will they cover the spread? Maybe not. I feel like a backdoor cover by the Bengals could easily happen.
Fair enough. You don't have faith. That's cool. We'll cover the spread and do a little bit more. Bengals and Ravens always play each other pretty close, so I'm expecting a shootout for sure. Now we're going to the Sunday games. No, we got the Black Friday game. My bad. We got two 8-3 teams. We got the Bears. We got the Eagles. I think they're in Philly. Yeah, they're in Philly. Who do you have in this one? Bears playing pretty well. 8-3 is nothing to slouch at, and the Eagles just lost to them boys. Offense is uncreative. Saquon still hasn't gotten going. Who do you have in this one?
Um, Give me the Eagles by a field goal at the end.
Okay, the Eagles are favored by 7, which is crazy against the
Give me,
Bears.
yeah, give me Bears spread and Eagles to win by a field goal right at the end.
Yeah, I don't trust this Eagles offense and Bears defense. Nothing to slouch at either. But I think if the Bears can't get anything going rushing wise, and they kind of frustrate Caleb, then yeah, they're gonna run into some issues. Yeah, I'll go with you. I'll cover. I'll take the Bears covering. But I think the Eagles can win this one. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose. Though. And then we're going to Sunday. We got any of these 4 o'clock windows you're going to be watching. Quick glance would tell me that Texans Colts would be the one to watch here, or maybe your Rams and Panthers.
The Rams will probably just dominate them. I mean, what I would probably watch for, like you said, Texans Colts. Honestly, the Cardinals game. The Cardinals game should be very telling for the Buccaneers. Because at this point, the Buccaneers are just in their own way. They got to beat some of these weaker end teams, but then you're gonna have
Mm-hmm.
to go. You're gonna have to have the Cardinals come into town and beat them with your backup guy who didn't even. I don't even think he started the season with them. I think they picked him up during the season. I don't think Bridgewater, had much off season to prep with the team.
Yeah, I
Um,
think you're right.
and, at this point, I think give me the Cardinals in this game just to
Uh-huh.
stir the pot with the madness that is brewing in the NFC South. But don't give me the Carolina Panthers to win. I don't think that happens either. I think the NFC South goes one more week of who wants it, and I think the Falcons get a little bit more eager of we can still get a chance.
They have a chance. They have a chance. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Colts Texans will be a good game. I think you got to give it to the Colts because they're playing at home. But I don't know if how much Danny Dimes' leg is a factor in if that's going to like hamper him again this week. I don't know, and I don't know if Jonathan Taylor will be able to have his usual rushing, big rushing performance against his Texans defense, which has been kind of killing everyone. So I don't know. Actually, I think Texans can definitely cover in this one, especially if CJ's back, which I expect him to be. Um, let's see. At the 4 o'clock window, we got Vikings Seahawks. Expecting the Seahawks to win at home. We get the Bills versus the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is pushing to play this week. I think the doctors told him no last week. I think it's a must win for both teams because the Patriots can't afford to fall further behind the Patriots in their division. Thus, the Bills will probably be a wild card team, and then the Steelers, yeah, if they you know lose and the Ravens somehow win, then I think the Ravens will be in first place in the North, and then the Steelers are fighting for a wild card at that point. So, uh, I don't know. I think for me, I think I would have to. If Aaron plays, I think the Steelers have a chance. But if he doesn't play and it's back to Rudolph, I think the Bills probably have a good chance to win. Any thoughts?
I would just take the Bills. Um,
Mm,
I don't even know though because the Steelers game, Rudolph looked better than Aaron Rodgers did in the first half when he fractured his wrist.
yeah.
I thought Rudolph looked better the second half. Now I also have this thought that Rudolph also plays like a better QB when he comes into the game and finish said game off than when starting the game. Um, I think we noticed that last year probably with the Titans. He always looked better when he came in than when he started.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that's very much the case with him. So I don't know. This is another toss up one, but I'm leaning Steelers honestly. I don't think I could trust the Bills to protect Josh Allen. T.J. Watt might have a field day honestly. Who else we have in 4 o'clock window? Raiders, Chargers. The Chargers don't win. Something's wrong. Then the night game, we got Broncos, Commanders, and FedEx, or not FedEx anymore, Northwest Stadium in Maryland. I think it's safe to say the Broncos should come out this one victorious. I don't think Jaden Daniels is playing this week, is he? Do you know?
I don't think he's back yet. No.
So we take the Broncos. I probably should take the spread, even though their offense is kind of shaky.
Mm, if you want to get in the same bed as that offense, you know that offense is doomed to implode on itself at some point. You don't want to be on the train when it does. Because they can't keep. It's one of those things they can't keep getting away with it. Maybe they
Yeah,
can, but I also am on part of that same boat of they just can't keep getting away with it. There have been too many games this season where if a few different things happen, they'd be in a completely different boat.
honestly, it's very similar to last year where things go differently a couple times. They probably don't make the playoffs. So yeah, you're right. Maybe this might be one to stay away from, betting wise at least. And last but not least, we got the Monday night game. Giants Patriots. I think it's safe to say the Patriots are going to win this one. I don't know if Jackson Dart is back this game. He might get shut down for the season. The Giants need that. They need that number one pick so they can trade it for some additional assets.
I think if there was someone to spoil a parade, I think Jameis Winston could be the one to do that. And am I saying he's going to win this game? No. But if they pull it off, if they just did what they did to the Lions, and they pretty much, I wouldn't say did the exact same thing, but if they just played with the same kind of energy they did, I
Yep.
think you can have an upset. Now, will you? Probably not. I think the only thing that could help you get an upset out of this game is the fact that it's a primetime game.
Yeah. And if Jameis plays, he has plenty of primetime experience. So yeah, maybe might be onto something. That's the end of the NFL. Just a quick check of the NBA standings, of course. Why we look there? Miami Heat, 12-6, number 3 team in the East. Lawrence, I try to tell you, my Heatles will be good this year. Hero came back on Monday versus the Mavs, picked up right where he left off, 20 points, scored I think like 8 or 9 baskets in a row after missing his first 4 shots. But he definitely fit well in the offense, the new offensive system. I think the length of the Mavs kind of had the team struggling to score a little bit last game, but the Heat look good. Norm Powell is kind of day to day with his groin, but if you would have told me the Heat would be the number 3 team in the East after their kind of hard schedule, especially with multiple people being out, I thought you'd be lying. But the East is not looking how we thought it would be. I knew we thought the Pistons would be good, but not number 1 in the East good at 15-2. Any thoughts about the landscape of the East through about 17, 18 games?
Mm, don't be too hard. Don't be too hard on the East. Um, I don't know. The Bucks sitting down there as far down as they are in the East.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. As foolish as I seem to be, as thinking the Wizards were gonna make any kind of noise, do I have
Yeah,
any room to talk anymore? They're so bad.
good and terrible. Won one game. 14 games they lost in a row. They are good and terrible. I'm surprised the Hawks have played as well as they have without Trae Young. Yeah, that's the one surprise besides the Heat in the East, I feel like. Um, Then we look at the West. I mean, what can we say about the Thunder? I mean, you heard it here first. I said that they will probably win 70 plus games this year, and they are right on pace. 17-1. They got their get back last night, I believe, versus the Trailblazers, right? Beat the hell out of them. Beat them by 20, I think. Beat the hell out of them.
I think they beat them twice now, did they not?
Yeah, I know they beat them last night, and then the Trailblazers beat them for their one loss. But yeah, I think you might be right on that one. Trailblazers aren't a bad team. They're in the nice spot right now, 8-10. Um, Any thoughts about the West? Joker's playing well. Lakers are playing well. LeBron's fitting in pretty well with fit Luca and AR, who's playing for a
The
contract.
Clippers and Kings are pretty disappointing this season for what I guess people probably thought they were going to get going into the season. I mean, I was kind of really into the Kings. I thought the Kings had something brewing. I thought picking up Westbrook didn't do anything but add to what could be. And honestly, I don't think he's caused any problems or derailed the team in any way. I just think that I don't think I think they have too many guys that do the same thing. I don't know that. I think like a Zach Levine just might be kind of like a Kurt.
Yeah, and I thought Keegan Murray coming back would help this team, but no, they still suck. Like that's probably their best player right besides Sabonis. Sabonis is out for a couple of weeks, I think like a month for his I think his meniscus, something in his meniscus. So I thought Keegan Murray coming back would help this team, but now they are cursed. I don't know what's going on with them. And yeah, the Clippers are disappointing. Bradley Beal's out for the season. Kawhi just came back, but he missed a lot of time. So yeah, I don't know why they thought that getting older would be a wise move, but they did what they did.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think Beal is like he should be studied. I mean, honestly, to go from I guess being in Washington
yep.
with that awesome contract that he had to a different team that would give him an awesome contract,
Mm.
and then to basically pull a John Wall, but with the Suns, or we're talking about the Clippers instead.
Yep.
Amazing. He learned from the best. He really did.
He legit learned from the best. Follow the same path, pretty much. Um, Both of those guys stealing money, just stealing money from those teams. Um, Other than that, that's all I got. Anything else you want to cover before we head on out for the week?
Nah, you got my takes. Um,
Shout out
I
to
will
George
say
Mason for winning against Florida Atlantic.
I was gonna say shout out to our boys George Mason. They're in the championship game for that tournament. The Sunshine Slam.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think they're playing Pacific for the final. I think that's how it's supposed to go down, anyways. Um, I hope they win that as well. One more win can't hurt. Get back here, play James Madison.
Yep.
Um, whoop their ass too. To be honest, that's all we need. Take names. Just remember who the A10 at the end of the season when debatably they deserve 2 or 3 spots.
At what point do you think this is the last question? But at what point do you think if Mason keeps winning that they are considered to be nationally ranked? Do you think it takes until they get into conference play?
I think based on their pre-conference schedule, based on the names they've beaten so far, they're not getting any love. That's just how it is. They're and
Yep.
honestly, I wouldn't expect them to get much love. They haven't. This is their first kind of major win was against Florida Atlantic.
Yep.
They have James Madison coming up. I don't think that's an impressive game. Cornell is not impressive. So then what? We got Virginia Tech. If they beat Virginia Tech, I think they actually start getting buzz noise. I think they actually have a chance um, to be on some people's polls. Then they got Old Dominion, Loyola, and then Penn. So then they start conference play. Basically, start January. So to get ranked before January, unless they beat Virginia Tech very convincingly, I don't think so. I think they'd have to beat. I think they'd have to beat them very, very convincingly. That being um, Virginia Tech. But I
Yeah.
think they can. I think they can make a noise in the A10 and get ranked pretty quick because they start off with LaSalle, which, as previous years, they should be able to handle that. Rhode Island looks pretty bad. Fordham is pretty bad, and then they get Virginia. They get VCU at home first, so they can beat VCU. Basically the big brother they never been able to beat. I think that gives them um, all I would just say all the cards.
Well, I'm always going to root for them. I'm going to try to go to some of these games coming up soon to catch them because they are playing really well, even with O'Connor out with injury, which might be a blessing in disguise because some of these other guys are getting some playing time, some minutes, and they are shining. They are able to win in a multitude of ways, whether it's defense or surprisingly, they've been able to outscore a lot of teams. So that's actually a good something good from some of the recruiting and the transfer portal for Coach Ken, getting guys that can score
Yeah, because he knows he can teach them the defensive side.
for sure. All right. With that being said, we're gonna head on out, guys. Thank you guys for watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify, all that good stuff. It's episode 203, and we will catch you next week. Peace.